I'd like to welcome you all to our community grants and microgrants presentation for 2019-20 for round 2 of that program. It's wonderful to see everyone here, and there's lots of people popping in with their videos. I can see as we're joining. I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land that we're meeting on today, the Bedigal people of the Eora Nation, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to acknowledge that whilst myself and the Mayor are here on Bedigal land today, we are out in the land of the web, and so we're joined by people from lots of different lands and traditional country mostly around Sydney from the Eora Nation. So I extend that welcome to all of the Indigenous peoples who come before us and are perhaps with us tonight. It's wonderful that you could all join us tonight for this online presentation. I thank you for your flexibility in these uncertain times. Normally we'd do something a little differently in one of our beautiful community centres around the Georges River, but tonight we felt it more appropriate that we pop into your home or into your office, and in the true sense of partnership, we share our own stories a little bit in a more personalised way, and perhaps a more socially distant and safe manner as well. A little bit of housekeeping for tonight. We are recording this session just for our own purposes, hopefully not malicious purposes. But if you are uncomfortable with a recording, please let myself or one of the staff know afterwards. Just drop us an email or a message and let us know. We do have closed captioning available, so you can, if you are hard of hearing or English is a second language, or you just, like I do, like to watch TV with the subtitles on so you catch everything, you can, on the bottom of your screen, there should be a closed caption button, and you can click on that and see. We also have the chat function on, which I can see a lot of people are already popping in to the chat function and saying hi. We do have your microphones muted just in case, because we've all been through that Zoom experience, I think, where someone forgets to mute their mic and then their phone rings and then their daughter comes in, as I'm expecting mine to at any time now, to ask for another episode of Octonauts. So we've muted you for your own safety as well as ours, I guess. But if you do want to have a chat and say hello, you can do so in the chat function. So I think without any further ado, it's my great pleasure to introduce to you tonight Councillor Kevin Green, the Mayor of Georges River Council, who'd like to say a few words of welcome to you.
Well, thanks, Scott, and thanks to everyone for joining us. I'd also like to pay my respect to the Bedigal people of the Eora Nation, the traditional lands where we gather this evening, and we certainly pay our respects to their custodianship of the land over many thousands of years. We were, as Scott indicated, going to get together all in one place tonight, but unfortunately we had a booking at the Crossroads Hotel, and we decided to cancel that just for this evening and to come together like this. In fact, what it really is about is that Scott and the team have just trying to, after the last 3 years of me being the mayor, they're trying to work out ways that they can keep me quiet, because they figure I talk too long at most of our functions, and I probably agree with that. So they're hoping that via Zoom, I will be a lot shorter, and I can assure you that will be the case, because I'd hate to think that Scott was going to miss out on his next episode of Octonauts. I'd hate to disappoint him in that regard. Seriously though, to everyone who has participated in this program, congratulations on the funding that we are able to provide. This year we had, I think, 62 applications, totaling just over almost $630,000 in grant applications. And that's obviously a lot of money. We, in fact, as a result of COVID, and some of the programs were not able to go ahead, but we've decided to fund 18 applications across 3 categories: connected communities, also the capacity building program, and as Scott's just indicated there, the micro grants program. So we're still putting, I think, just over $120,000 into grants. The other remaining amount, $78 and a bit thousand, we're actually putting towards our COVID funding. We've introduced a $47 million program to support the community throughout what we hope will be an economic and social recovery program as a result of COVID. So the excess funds that didn't go into the community grants will go to support our local community in a different way. So again, thanks for the work you do in your community. Again, apologies that we're not all together in the one venue, so I could personally thank you, but please pass on to all your volunteers, the many in your organisations who do so much to support the key areas, the foundations of our community that are our community organisations. I do sincerely thank each of you and each of them for your ongoing contribution to the fabric of what is a wonderful Georges River community. With that, I'll hand back to Scott, and he'll announce the recipients and the amounts. Thank you very much, Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Now, before I go into the first round of grants, I do encourage you, if you're feeling comfortable, to share your video with us at the bottom of your screen. You can press the button, start your video. We will be doing we like to normally have a big group photo at the end of one of these presentations, but we'll be doing a big group photo, internet style, at the end, and doing a big screenshot. So if you're comfortable doing that, you can do it now or towards the end of the presentation. Turn on your video and we'll take a group shot. All right, without any further ado, the first round of community grants for round 2 of 2019-20 is the Connected Community category. And these are for grants of up to $25,000 for major projects that run over 2 years. And the idea of these grants is to improve the life of our community in a really strong and meaningful way, reducing social isolation, improving community safety, and connecting people. We've got 2 recipients in this category, and the first is for Street Industries Incorporated for their Street Smart project, which is an early intervention program for at-risk young people, and they've got a grant for $20,000. I've got their certificate here, which I will digitally bring towards them. Well done, Street Industries, and congratulations. You probably don't need to clap because no one can hear you. Kogarah RSL Sub-Branch Youth Club is the next recipient of a Connected Communities grant for their Junior Jelly Beans Social Connectedness Program for children with disabilities and their parents, and they're awarded $10,000 for that program. So congratulations to the Kogarah RSL Sub-Branch Youth Club for the incredible work that you do with those kids and their families. So that's $30,000 that's going into major programs that will be run over the next 2 years. And we're very, very proud and excited to be supporting those projects. And we'll be hearing a little bit later on from Sammy from Street Industries about that program. Now, moving on to the capacity building projects. These are for 1-year projects for grants of up to $10,000 that really benefit the most vulnerable communities and help to build capacity for our organisations and the incredible work that you do every single day in our community. The first recipient is the St George Family Support Services, and they've received $7,700, here's the certificate, for the replacement of their phone system so that they can deliver essential family support services in our area, and really prevalent and important at this time when it's harder to do face-to-face services. The next recipient is the Cerebral Palsy Alliance, and I think Shannon from Cerebral Palsy is here, and they've received $9,820 for communication equipment for people with disability. So well done, and thank you for your good work. Next up, we have Cass Care Limited, and I think Carol and possibly Amy as well are here from Cass Care. They've received $5,400 for the development of a therapeutic sensory room, a really vital new space so that the clients, particularly young children who experience autism and other conditions on the spectrum, can have a quiet space to reflect when they're visiting their services. Well done, and thank you, Cass Care. Next up is the Volunteer Marine Rescue of New South Wales. I think Matt is joining us from there. And they've been awarded the very specific amount of $5,831 for equipment upgrades to their rescue vessel. And being on the Georges River and with this beautiful surrounding waterways around us, it's vitally important that the services they provide, particularly for newly arrived migrants who may not be as familiar with water safety. So thank you for your work there. Next up, we have Learning Links, and Ellie from Learning Links is joining us tonight. Their project is for supporting children with learning disabilities and difficulties in the Georges River community, and they've been awarded $8,615 for that project. Congratulations and thank you. Next up, we have the St George Men's Shed. I think Patrick is here. I'm looking for you, Patrick, from the St George Men's Shed to improve the air quality and dust control in the men's shed workspace there. They've got a fantastic space down at Cars Park, and in order to make that space a lot safer, they've got a new filtration system going in, and that's to the tune of $2,850. Well done. Next up, we have the St George Children with Disabilities Fund, and welcome to Gary from them. Their project is for $10,000 for music therapy and life-enriching support for children with severe disabilities. And it's great to see so many projects that are supporting the really vulnerable members of our community, particularly in these times when it's more and more difficult for people, for carers and people with disability themselves to get out and about, that we need to make sure that the opportunities that they have are as rich as possible. Next up, we have the Hurstville Senior Citizens Computer Club, and John Shortland. Hello, John, and welcome. We've got $2,200 for the purchase of 2 computers for the seniors' computer training classes. And even more vital in these times, you'd agree, John, that the computer literacy, particularly for older people, is so vitally important. It's more and more difficult for our seniors to get out and about, particularly if people are over 70, they are more susceptible to COVID-19. So another really important way is for them to connect through digital means. Next up, we have Three Bridges Community. Amal is here joining us from Three Bridges, and they've been awarded $10,000 for the installation of a portable toilet and shower care port at the Three Bridges Cars Park office for older, frail age and vulnerable people, so that they can use the facilities in dignity whenever they're visiting their services over there at Cars Park. Our next recipient is Kingsgrove Community Aid Centre, and I can see Anne there from KCAC. Hello, Anne. They've been awarded $3,690 for the installation of a defibrillator in the common areas of the Kingsgrove Community Centre, an absolute life-saving device for their clients and the visitors to the community centre there, as well as people, I guess, who are enjoying the facilities at nearby Smith Park as well. Our next recipient is the Anglican Church Property Trust Diocese of Sydney, the St Mark's Anglican Church South Hall. It's an environmental sustainability project to install a new solar panel system at the St Mark's Church building, and they've been awarded $5,000 to support that program. So well done, and thank you, Dr. Lois Little, for joining us tonight. Next up, we have the St George Art Society. They've been awarded $1,050 for the recording and audiovisual equipment to record artists, to support live, recorded and streamed artist workshops. We probably could have utilised their services tonight to put a bit of that pre-show music and a little bit of entertainment. Perhaps the funding that they can use for this round can help us if we have to do this again in 12 months' time. The next recipient is the Oatley Senior Citizen Centre. Hello, David, and welcome for joining us from there. They've been awarded $4,550 for the installation of a split system air conditioning unit at the Oatley Senior Citizen Centre. Well done, David and the team there. Congratulations. I'm sure that will make your lives much more comfortable in both summer and winter when enjoying those facilities. Our next recipient is IntegraCare, who have received $3,152 to run some parenting workshops for families experiencing domestic and family violence. Hello, Benita and the team, and thank you for all the incredible work that you do and for sharing that information and getting the word out, because domestic and family violence is an absolute scourge in our society, and everything we can do to help mitigate that is absolutely crucial. So thank you. Our second last grantee in the capacity building category is Kogarah Community Services. And I believe we have Una and Trinidad from KCS here. Have been awarded $10,000 for enhanced technology to improve the service provided to their clients and community care workers to deliver really quality care and improve staff productivity. And again, in this time, that digital support is really important. Our final recipient in the capacity building category is the Connells Point Sailing Club. And hello, Sarah, and thank you for joining us tonight under difficult circumstances, I know. So they've been awarded $1,300 for support for volunteer first aid training. Absolutely crucial again, and wonderful to see people enjoying our rivers and waterways safely through the great work that you're doing in the community. Finally, we have two recipients for the microgrants category. Microgrants is a new bit of a pilot program which we have introduced at Council this year for the first time. And the program is aimed to provide really grassroots local solutions to community wellbeing, including the development of social enterprises, small business development, training opportunities, healthy living and social cohesion opportunities. This is, as I said, a new program, and we are hoping to expand this program as we go further on. The first recipient of the microgrants for 2020 is the Chinese Parents Association, Children with Disabilities Inc. I think Marie is here joining us tonight. They've received $1,000 for an educational cruise on the Georges River for children with disabilities and their caregivers. A great opportunity for those people to get out and about in a safe manner and learn a little bit about the natural beauty of our local area at the same time. And finally, our last recipient is the Crateful Group, and we have Annette here from the Crateful Group, and they've received $1,000 to support some vehicle expenses, helping with their pop-up hamper distribution, which delivers essential food services and fresh produce to our most vulnerable residents in the area. So congratulations to Annette and the team at the Crateful Group, and thank you for all your work. That's it. That is all of the grants for this year. So I'd like to congratulate and thank you all for the amazing work that you do. It's absolutely incredible to see the breadth and depth of funding that has been provided for so many different kinds of projects that really do impact our community. It's wonderful to see that council has the opportunity to partner with your organisations to support you in the work that you do. Now, on behalf of the grants recipients, I believe Sammy Minkara from Street Industries is going to say a few words in response. Sammy, are you there?
I am here. Thank you, Scott. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owner of the George River area, the Bidjigal people of the Eora Nation, and pay my respects to elders past and present. I'd also like to acknowledge Mayor Kevin Green, Scott Andrew. I'd like to acknowledge and thank Rebecca Schultz, the councillors and the community development team at George River Council. I'd like to thank the whole team on behalf of the successful applicants for this year's grants program, community grants program. In terms of the project, the project will go towards a project called the Street Smart Project, which is a street-based initiative that goes out into the community and engages with young people on the street. And that type of project ensures no young people fall through the gaps, and all young people have access to support and opportunity. And ultimately, over the 2-year period, we hope that these young people become contributing citizens of George River Council and the community. So thank you, Andrew.
Thanks, Sammy. That's it's a fantastic project, and I'm really looking forward to seeing some of the results of that over the coming months and indeed years as we work in partnership with yourselves, as well as with our other community partners and the local police area command and our youth service providers. As you say, it's vitally important that the young people in our community feel that they are valued and respected, and that they are part of our community, not a hindrance upon it. So hopefully those, I look forward to seeing the great work that comes out of this project. So on behalf of Georges River Council, I'd like to thank Councillor Kevin Green, the Mayor of Georges River. I'd also like to thank all of the team who helped put this together tonight, Jamal, Jane and Rachel and Adele in our IT support. I'd like to thank Sula, who is our captioner for this evening, for typing up everything that we say with incredible speed and haste. But most of all, I'd like to thank all of you, and if you could please extend those thanks to all of your staff, your volunteers, your participants, your clients. The work that you do really underpins everything that we stand for at Georges River Council, of bringing people together and creating a sense of community. So what we'd like to do before we wrap up is get that group photo. So if you want to, just you can, turn your cameras on, make sure your hair's looking the best. If you don't want to take part in the photo, that's fine. We've got your name down on the screen as well. But now's your opportunity to turn on those cameras. And if you're having any trouble with anyone doing so, you can pop a little note in the chat. But everyone looks like they're pretty much almost there. Jane, I think you are in charge of capturing that screenshot. So shall I do a 1, 2, 3 cheese? Is that how it works? 1, 2, 3 cheese. I think we'll just hold that for just a few more seconds. We might have to do it over 2 screens depending on the numbers. So if you can all look to the Mayor, who's a seasoned politician who's used to smiling as his profession. I think the looks on your faces tell it all, actually, everyone. I think we're good.
Where are you working tomorrow, Scott?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Kevin. Did I overstep the mark? So thank you all for joining us tonight. Look at that, we've done it in just under half an hour. This is the way of the future. It's so lovely to see you all. And thank you for joining us. And we will be in touch over the coming months with to hear project reports to find out how you're going. We'd love for you to share your photos, share your stories with us. And so we can share those back with the community. Oh, Jamal, you've got the camera on. Hello. Yeah, we'd like to share your successes with the wider community. So please do keep in touch and let us know how you're going with these fantastic programs. I think it's now time. It's definitely 1 o'clock. Kevin, I am obeying the drug and alcohol policy. I'm locking out. I'm clogging out. My day is now done, and I'd like to say cheers and have a great evening, everyone. And thank you for joining us.
And more importantly, look after your own family, Scott. Don't worry about the drinking. Just worry about the family.
I'll go and join them for some dinner now.
Thanks for everybody. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. Cheers, Scott. Thank you.
Scott and Kevin and everybody, thank you very much for the support. We're very appreciative.
All the very best to all. Very best to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adele.
Great meeting, Scott.
Great, thanks. And look, I think it went technically without much of a hitch.
And we all smiled too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.